Hi everyone, Pam here from Creative Homescaping. I'm continuing my Alaska trip series today, and in this video I will show you some scenery from Glacier Bay. This day of our trip was an all-sea day, and most of it was spent touring around in Glacier Bay. We actually did get to see a glacier calve, a very large piece. However, since you can't tell when that's going to happen, I just missed it with my camera. But I do have a little bit of footage of some smaller pieces falling off, and you can see the ripples going out into the current, and I'll be sure to point that out. And although I didn't get this on video because they were so tiny, we did see some seals and otters relaxing on some icebergs that were floating by. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the other side.
This was one of the first glaciers we saw and some of the surrounding scenery as we started to enter Glacier Bay. And then we saw another closer down towards the ocean water. Here is my husband and myself bundled up for glacier viewing in front of the Marjorie Glacier. The next few scenes are also of the Marjorie Glacier. The Marjorie Glacier is considered to be a healthy glacier, meaning that the same amount of ice falls off into the ocean every year as is deposited at the top of the glacier in the ice fields that feed it. In this scene, you can see how the glacier is flowing down the side of the mountain. Here's an even closer look at the Marjorie Glacier. Pay close attention to the features at the very left of the screen. Some of them were precariously perched, and one of them eventually calved off as we were touring the bay. This black area here doesn't really look like a glacier, but it's actually the Grand Pacific Glacier that formed most of Glacier Bay. I'll zoom in a little bit later where you can see part of the glacier that looks whiter and more icy. If you look closely at the water at the upper left of your screen, you'll see it's moving around quite a bit. That's because the glacier had just calved. That's the spot I was mentioning earlier. Unfortunately, since you don't know when it's going to happen, I didn't capture that part on film. But I did get a small calving a little later on in this scene. This is a different glacier, the Lamplugh Glacier, and the ice on it is very, very blue. And it also had a couple of ice caves there that right now are in the center of the screen. The glacier in the background of this picture is called the Johns Hopkins Glacier. We couldn't get closer to it than this because it's a protected area for breeding purposes for the orcas. And here I'm showing you some landslide area on the side of this mountain. And then there's some more of the scenery and some glaciers up higher on the mountains. And here I'm showing you some interesting rock striations on the face of this mountain. We saw quite a few icebergs floating in the water. That smaller one there was about the size of a car. It's hard to get the scale when you're looking at the water. And on some of them there were seals and sea otters taking a rest. The next couple of scenes are again of the Lamplugh Glacier, and from this angle it was easier to see how blue the ice is. In the next scene I think I get a closer up view of the two ice caves that I mentioned earlier in the video. I thought I'd end the video with a look at the seafood appetizer we had at dinner.
I hope you enjoyed seeing some scenes from Glacier Bay. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing by clicking the link down below. I post several videos a week, usually on home decor and home management, but I do post some videos like this where I've taken some trips and excursions. I look forward to seeing you all next time. Take care.